Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a favourites video with a little bit of a twist because I'm going to be focusing on some summer favourites of mine. So if you want to see a little bit more, including a fantastic new product that I've been testing recently, then keep watching. So as you'll probably know by now, I really love doing favourites videos. They're some of my favourite videos to film, and I really wanted to do a summer one because I thought it would be a great way to share loads of things I've been loving recently, but also share this product that I've been testing out. So part of this video is a brand collaboration with HAYFEVER, and I have been testing out one of their innovations, which is just a game changer if you have hay fever, which I do. I suffer with it quite badly and it seems to have been worse than ever this year. So I was really happy to be able to try this out, and what is amazing is that I actually have one of these machines to give away to you as well. But you're probably wondering what it is, so I'm going to start with this product and then I'll move on to some other things that I love in the summer months that I think you might quite enjoy too. So first up, what am I talking about? Because I've left you in suspense and I haven't told you yet, so I'm sorry about that. But this is the HAYFEVER air purifier. I have the 500 model and I also have a 300 model to give away as well, which is amazing because it's nice to think of one of you hopefully benefiting from one of these as well. So if you want to enter my giveaway, then head over to my Instagram after you finish watching this video. I'm doing it over there just because it's easier to verify who has won, because it's easier to message people and stuff, so I hope that's okay. But basically the HAYFEVER air purifiers are exactly that. They work by cleansing the air of allergens and pollen and things like that and neutralizing it for you, so that if you are a sufferer, you can get instant relief. Now, as I mentioned before, I would say my hay fever starts normally around March time, which I think, correct me if I'm wrong, is like tree pollen. The second the tree starts to wake up a little bit, I am really irritated, and the older I get, it seems that I'm more and more susceptible to different types of pollens. So instantly it'll be one of those where when I go on walks, start walking the dog, I'll notice that my eyes are itchy. I will notice that I start getting quite congested and bunged up, and sometimes, to be honest, it can just generally make me feel quite unwell. Now, it goes without saying that these are a summer essential for me anyway. I will always take a hay fever tablet every single day, just because when I'm out and about, I want to manage and control my symptoms. But as we all know, these do start to wear off as the day goes on, and they don't completely eliminate any symptoms that you might have, at least not if you are a firm sufferer like me. One of the worst times for me as a hay fever sufferer would be in the morning. So when I first wake up, I will feel extremely congested. I will normally get like crusty eyes, which is really horrible, but they'll like leak and weep in the middle of the night through being irritated, and then that can actually make the skin underneath my eye quite sore. It's quite uncomfortable for me. I get really snotty. It's harder for me to get things done, like when I'm exercising and stuff. I just feel like I have to work a little bit harder to get like air in and it's not nice. So when I was contacted and asked if I wanted to give this a go, it was a resounding yes. Like, if you're a hay fever sufferer, you'll know how bad it can be sometimes, and I just wanted to give myself a chance of a bit of a relief. And also another thing is that Mark in his adult life has also developed hay fever as well. He will struggle, so the ideal place for us to put our HAYFEVER air purifier would be in our bedroom, because that is normally when we feel worse. It's when our hay fever tablets have worn off and you wake up in the morning and you just feel horrible. And we've been using it for the past few weeks and it's so cool. I mean, I love technology anyway, so this is really innovative. It has a screen that offers you live updates. It will tell you about the air quality in the room that you've got it in. It also syncs up with the Hon app, so you can download that to your phone. It's free, by the way, and you can track everything. Another thing that I really like about the Hon app is that it's a bit like a remote control for your air purifier. So it doesn't matter where you are. Say if you are out and about and you want to set it off ready for when you you get home you can do. It's a bit like a remote control, like I said, and you can also have personal settings and it will send you alerts and updates. And I just think that's really clever because we're in a technological world, aren't we, these days, where it's so nice to have all of those like little perks that come with technology that make life a bit easier. So that's really cool as well. And if you like technology like me, you'll probably be really impressed by that bit. One thing I didn't realise is that the pollen season actually lasts for 9 months of the year, and that is a very, very long time. So the HON app will actually also alert you to times of the year where it's going to be particularly bad, so you can be prepared, get your Hoover air purifier on and set up, and then you can have relief within about 10 minutes, because we set it up in our bedroom and it takes about 10 minutes to sort of clear the pollen from our air and neutralise it, and you just feel so much better. Like automatically then my sinuses will be a lot clearer, my eyes will be a lot less irritated, and it's just it's so nice, especially when you just want to get to sleep and you don't want to be bothered by all those symptoms, because honestly it drives me crazy. It ruins my makeup, it makes me really embarrassingly snotty when I'm about with people, I'm always sneezing, sometimes it makes me cough as well, which is not something you want to be doing at the moment. Now I will say that this is obviously an investment, but if there's a couple of you or several of you in your household that are suffering from hay fever and want a bit of extra relief, then it's something that's going to last you a very, very long time and you'll all benefit from it. So if you do fancy a chance of winning one, if you're a hay fever sufferer like me and Mark and my dad and various other family members and friends that I've got, then definitely head over to my Instagram and enter. It's nothing too tricky. I'm not asking you to sign your soul away or anything like that. You just need to leave a comment so I know that you've entered, and follow HAYFEVER over on their Instagram as well. But all the details will be down below for you so you can enter. So now we talked about the downside of summer, which obviously is hay fever and things like that. I've got other favourites that I really, really want to show you. So I have a cocktail, I have a lunch that I've really been enjoying at the moment, and then some other bits and bobs as well. So shall we start with those cocktails? I think we should. Now they're a little bit cold. I've had them out the freezer just for a little bit so I can show you, but they are these, and these are from Aldi. So the bonus is that they're not too expensive either. You find them just with the normal like wine and drinks and things like that, and then when you get them home you pop them in your freezer. So these are frozen cocktails. I have passion fruit martini and the berry mojito. You stick them in your freezer like overnight or for as long as you need them, and then when you're ready to have them, just before, you want to pop them in your fridge and let them defrost a little bit for 25 minutes or so. And then when they start getting like nice and soft, you just squish them a bit like I'm able to do here, and then you pour them into a glass, and they are just so nice. They're not super strong, they're only 4% alcohol volume, but they're just nice for when it's hot and you want something a little bit different, and they're fun as well. Like, can you imagine taking these over to like a friend's barbecue and things like that, or having your girls over, or even just chilling with your partner in the garden at night when the kids have gone to bed? They're really cool. So these are my two favourites because I love a passion fruit martini and a berry mojito, and you can obviously pimp them up a little bit as well, so you could have like fruit and, you know, like half a passion fruit with this one, and I just think they're really fun. So if you've not tried them yet, definitely give them a go. And then in terms of a meal that I have been loving at the moment, it's really, really light and fresh and simple, but it just tastes so good. It's basically rice paper rolls that I've been making at home. Now you will need to get spring roll like rice papers for this. You can buy these from a lot of Asian supermarkets, but I will also link down below where I bought mine from, because you can buy them online as well if that's more convenient for you. And they keep really well in the cupboard as well, which is a bonus. And they start out as like quite hard and crisp. You just dip them in some water, don't leave them in too long because they'll turn into mush really quickly. So you dip them in, and then you fill them with loads of different fillings, so like fresh herbs, so I like mint and coriander. Then you can julienne some vegetables, so like cucumber, carrot, you could do peppers, and then you can add some protein in there as well, so maybe some shrimps, like cooked prawns, cooked chicken, and then you essentially roll everything up and create a lovely tasty dipping sauce using like peanut butter and loads of different ingredients like that. So what I'm going to do is I will leave in the description box down below how I make them, but they are such a light and refreshing lunch. You know, like when it's really hot but you still want something nice for lunch that's a bit more exciting than say like just a salad that I tend to have all the time. it's one of those, it's so good, and you can obviously add a bit of heat and jazz things up a little bit, and I just think they're really fun to have and so tasty. So if you need a recommendation for lunch and you want to do something a bit fancy, I would definitely recommend you trying those out because they're really good. Next up, I want to talk about something that I don't feel like we talk about enough. It is so normal, especially in the summer months when you're wearing dresses and things like that, but it is chafing in between your legs. I'm not even going to call it chub rub, because do you know what? Depending on the shape of your physique and your bone structure and how far apart your thighs are, you will get it regardless of what size you are, and it is so normal and a bit annoying, admittedly. Now, I will go through stages. Generally speaking, if I'm wearing a skirt or a dress, it's not too much of a problem for me until it gets hot. And obviously when it gets hot, a very normal human function is to get a bit sweatier, and that can cause like friction and chafe down there, and it's just really uncomfortable. But it's also really normal, and I have two things that I like to use in case that happens. I like to keep them on me, so if I feel like it's going to get hot, I will get my bag like this and I will stick them in there just in case, and then if I need to sort myself out, just take myself off to the loo, and then instant relief, thank God for that. And you know what, if you can find something in your life that is going to make your day more enjoyable and make you more uncomfortable, you know, you need to share it with people. So the first thing is this. I've been using this for years. This is probably the thing that I go to the most because I don't tend to always need it, as I've mentioned before, but when I do, this is like my first option. And this is the Lanacane anti-chafing gel. You can get this from Amazon, you can get this from Boots. I picked it up from both, and it's basically like a very silicone-y type gel. So if I show you here, I've got a bit of grit on it because it's been in my bag. It's like, it's very smooth gel, and it's not slimy, it's not sticky. It very much reminds me of a silicone like face primer, and it blends into the skin really nicely, and it's actually quite soft. So when your thighs rub together and they meet, it just eliminates any friction and stops you from getting sore. And honestly, like I said, I've been using this for years, and when I say years, I mean I've been using it since I was a size like 20 and a size like 12, and I always need it whatever my size is, but it's just a really good one to go for, and it lasts quite well as well. So I always have that on me when it's hot, because why would I want to be uncomfortable? It makes no sense. Then another option, I have these sometimes for like days where it's really hot and uncomfortable, like the weather that we had recently. These were kind of like a better option all round because they just protected a lot of my leg, and they also hold you in a little bit as well. But these are snag tights, and they're like anti-chafe shorts. You can get them like in different colours. So this is obviously nude, which personally I would go for because then it can work with most dresses or skirts that you have. But these are like my, you know, if I really feel like I need something, say I'm going on a night out as well and I just don't want to be faffing, and then it holds your tummy in a bit as well, which I've mentioned is quite handy, and you just stick them on. But because they are like tight material, they're very thin. Obviously, you know they're there, so they do add an additional layer, which is the only downside of wearing things like this, because that can sometimes make you feel hotter. However, like cycling shorts are usually a lot thicker than this, so these are quite, they've still got a bit of breathability to them. So if you are looking for, you know, something that you can just wear all the time, gives you a bit of security as well, in case your children lift up your skirts on your dresses like my 3-year-old does, because for some reason Stan thinks it's really funny to just try and like flash everybody on my behalf. I don't know why he does that, but he does it all the time, particularly in the school playground. He tries to get under my skirt. But anyway, it's also a comfort to know that I've got these on as well. So they are fab, and I just thought I would help a sister out. So if you're watching this like me and you've got like thighs that do the same, then don't struggle anymore. And by all means, if you've got any suggestions of anything that you use for other people, leave them down in the comments below. Next up, I'm going to go into a few beauty bits really quickly, and the first thing that I feel like you really need for summer is SPF. I bought this one recently because it's specifically for your face. Now, As kind of like a disclaimer, I do find that facial SPFs a lot of the time will break me out, which is very frustrating because I want to protect my skin. SPF is one of the best ways that you can protect your skin from premature aging, and obviously things like sun damage and things like that. You don't want to mess around. Protect your skin. Life is too short. But this one is the Nivea Sun UV Face Key10 Anti-Age and Anti-Pigments. It's 0% white residue and it's SPF 30 UVA and UVB. It's not the highest that you can get, obviously, but I have been using this and I don't feel like it's breaking me out. I feel like it goes on really nicely. You don't get that white residue as it says, because that's one thing. You put SPF on sometimes and I feel like it can be quite tricky with makeup. You want to leave it to soak in and stuff. Sometimes you still do get a bit of that white like cast on your face, which isn't always the best look. So this one I can really recommend. It wasn't too expensive either. I've also seen that you can get some SPF facial mist now, so I'd really like to try one of them, but for now one that I can actually vouch for is this one. Then another thing, obviously when you wear SPF it protects your skin from the sun, and sometimes my face can be the part of my body that maybe doesn't get as much of a natural glow as the rest of me because I wear makeup as well. So one way that I like to top this up is with the Saint-Tropez Self-Tan Purity Facial Mist. It's specifically again for your face because I will find that body self-tans will also break me out, which I don't really want, especially not in the summer when you want to wear less on your face and let your skin breathe and just enjoy the sunshine. So this kind of like helps me fake it so I make it, if you know what I mean. And I really, really like this one. So if you've never tried it before, I must have bought this about 5 times now over the years, and it is just my absolute favourite. The next summer beauty item that I really want to share really quickly is this. This is probably the nail varnish that I will wear the most. My nails are actually bare today because I've cut them, and I'll go through phases at the moment. Like I will paint them and then I will like take it off and let them get some sun to try and like strengthen my nails and stuff. I'm mainly doing this for my wedding because my nails were quite weak and I wanted to like strengthen them up a bit more. So it's the Jelly High Shine nail paint from Barry M in the shade Lavender, and it's just a really, really pretty pale lilac colour, and I think it's beautiful. I think it would look great on all skin tones, to be honest, as well. And lilac is probably my favourite shade to wear on my nails in spring and summer because I just think it's really, really cute. And then another thing are a pair of shoes. Now I've had these for over a year now because I got them, I think it was last year possibly, but they still sell them, and it's these like, I don't even know what to call them, mules are they? Like they're a bit like Birkenstocks but cheaper, and they're from Next. Now obviously they don't look nice because like I said, I've had them for over a year, possibly even 2, I can't honestly remember. The pandemic has kind of made my head go a bit. But these are the Dalmatian ones. They still make them, I've checked, because I don't like sharing things unless I feel like you can actually still get them yourself. But they're so comfy and they're so cool just to throw on with anything. And because they're quite substantial, like I can walk the dog in them when it's hot, and like they're not really floppy, they're quite firm and stuff. And I just think they're really, really cool. So if you want to get some, I think they're about the 22, 20, maybe 26 at most pound mark, but they're great and they come in different colours as well. So if the Dalmatian print's not your thing, then you've got options, but I love them and they've lasted me so well, so I had to mention those. Now the next thing that I had to mention is obviously like entertainment related, because what is the summertime unless you get to read like a good summer read? I mean, admittedly a lot of us would probably rather be doing it next to a pool somewhere or on a beach, but that's not really happening right now, is it? And plus when you've got kids it's even harder to do, to be honest. So I'll just recommend one book because I've recently finished it and I really, really enjoyed it. It's like an easy read, one that's really, really like nice to get into, and a lovely, lovely story as well. So it is called Someone I Used to Know by Paige Toon. I love Paige's books. I've read a lot of them now and it's just really, really good. I'm going to read the blurb to you so you can work it out for yourself as to whether you'll like it, but I can really recommend this one. So are we ready? Let's get my reading voice on. Then, at 15, George is the foster brother Leah never asked for. As the angry, troubled boy struggles to come to terms with his circumstances, Leah finds herself getting drawn closer to him. Theo has mysteriously left boarding school and is now at the local state school with Leah and George. When their worlds collide that summer, the three teenagers form a bond that they will believe to be unbreakable. Now, shocking news brings Leah back to Yorkshire, baby daughter in tow, but Emily's father Theo isn't with them and George has unexpectedly returned. After half a lifetime, have they healed the scars of their past, while coming back home set their hearts in a new direction? I really liked it. I thought it was really, really good. So if you are after something to read that's not too difficult to get into and you just want to sort of switch off and relax when the sun's out or something like that, this is really, really good. For those of you who aren't into Love Island, I have another suggestion for you. However, I will say it's a little bit raunchy, but in a good way. It's Sex Life on Netflix. Mark and I started watching it recently and whew, if I had a collar, I'd be wafting it because it gets a bit hot and heavy, as the name would probably suggest. However, it's also just an amazing watch and quite like fun to watch as well. And if you are indeed a mother, it's quite relatable, I suppose, in parts. So definitely give that one a watch. I won't go into too much detail, especially if you're watching with kids. But you know, if you're watching this with kids, that's fine, but don't watch that with kids, okay? Because there's just a no. But it's really, really good. And then finally, I thought I would share a playlist that I've made on Spotify, which I know is really silly, but I love music. But what I will say is that I seem to be trapped in some sort of zone in my life where actually I mainly love music from the past and a few new ones. But you know, like when you were kids and your mum and dad would like hear a song on the radio and they'd be like, oh, I love this song, and you'd be like, oh my god, it's so old. Music from today is way better. Well, it's a bit like that because I think I've become that person now. Like, I just love music from back then. It like connects with me and like reminds me of like the good old days and things like that. And then I've just basically made a playlist of like loads of songs that either make me happy at the moment or make me think of summer. And I mainly made it just because it made like running a bit more exciting, which I will get onto in a moment. So if you would like to enjoy my diabolical taste in music, then I will leave it linked down below. But that said, like, I'm sure there'll be some of you out there that like the same kind of music as me, but it just tunes, to be honest, and it will hopefully make you smile. So I thought I would include it in this because it's something that I've been really enjoying. And then finally, you'll notice that I've mentioned running, and it really is my favourite. In my most recent like monthly favourites video that I've done, I mentioned it then because I was relatively new to it, but I am over 6 weeks in now and I'm loving it. Guess what, right? Guess what? 6 weeks ago, I could run for like 60 seconds, 90 seconds as per Couch to 5K programme. The BBC NHS one, by the way, is free. Don't waste your money on anything else. But now, do you want to know the longest that I've run for straight? 32 minutes. 32 minutes. I can't believe that I've achieved that. I've not completed it yet, but I feel like actually maybe I will. I'm already running 4K at the moment. I'm not the fastest. It's definitely a case of tortoise voices like the hare. But I'll complete it. I will do it. I'm gonna really, really try. And I'm loving it. And I just feel like I wanted to include it in this because if you've ever wanted to start it, you've ever been curious, start it now, because the summer months and the spring months I find are the perfect time to give it a go, because you have more hours in the day where there's light, so you've got more flexibility to start and pick a time that works for you rather than feeling like you're dragging yourself out first thing before the kids are awake. There's more options there. The weather is milder, so you're not going to get bucketed on by rain and things like that. However, I will say I prefer running in rain than I do in the baking sunshine that we had recently, because that was hard. But it's a great time to start. And if you started now, like, it's maybe what, 5 weeks until the kids go back to school, so you'll be almost at the stage that I'm at now, and I'll hopefully have completed it by then. And you know, you've still got plenty of like weeks in September to give it a go and keep going while it's lighter, and then hopefully by the end of it you'll be just someone that feels more confident running any different time of day and like going to different routes and stuff. Like, I'm considering, like, hopefully one day I would like to do like a park run and things like that and try and push myself. And I I'm not a runner, guys. I mean, maybe I am now, but I wasn't. I never thought I could be. I just think it's amazing. So if you've never given it a go, start now. You won't regret it. I promise you, you will not regret it. You've just got to stick with it and believe in yourself. And like, I honestly feel like if I can do it, you can do it. And I really, really mean that. And so I had to end like on a high there because I just think it's brilliant. So yeah, I hope that you enjoyed this video. Thank you again to the Hoover team for working with me, sharing the Hoover air purifiers and also the Hon app. Make sure you head over to my Instagram. I'll leave it linked down below and you can enter it there if you want to. I'll leave all the details down below in the description box for you, but that is the end of this video. So I really, really hope that you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching and thank you for your kindness and support as always. Have a lovely rest of your day, whatever you're up to, and I'll hopefully see you all very, very soon.